Hey guys, how y'all doing? This is Elise Wood. For those that don't know me, I'm the owner of Credit Corrector Solutions. I run the group Better Credit Community on Facebook. Today, I'd just like to talk to you guys about collections. I'm getting a lot of calls, a lot of emails, people talking about it in the group about collections, debt collectors, whether or not you should pay a debt collector. Um, a lot of people don't know, and it's actually very basic information, but what a lot of people don't know is when a creditor who you owe decides that they can no longer collect the debt, usually on your credit report, you'll see after about 120 days, you'll see that the debt has been charged off. So that's how you acquire a charge off on your credit report. You'll see that some creditors have a charge off, which is a negative mark on your account. So once you get a charge off, what the creditor does is they then sell the debt. They usually sell it to a debt buyer or they sell it to a collection agency so that they can aggressively try to get the debt from you. What the creditor will normally do is the creditor will then charge the debt off. So they'll do a tax write-off on it, it'll be written off, and they'll forgive the debt. So what basically happens in that time frame is you'll get a 1099 usually during the tax season, which you do have to pay taxes on because they consider that extra money in your pocket because they forgave the debt. So the creditor now doesn't have anything to do with it, but it's still reporting on your credit report. So that's a negative mark because they're now reporting a charge off and that they couldn't get their money. So now they've resold the debt. So a debt buyer now comes to the creditor and decides that they want to buy the debt. So they buy the debt for pennies on the dollar. And sometimes they buy the whole package of the debt. They'll buy the agreement between you and the creditor. They'll buy the payment history, everything that's associated with the debt, they'll basically buy. And then they will now come after you aggressively to try to collect this debt. So now the question is, people say, well, do I owe the collection agency? Why do I owe them? The agreement was with the creditor. Right, and in some cases that is true. But if the debt collector has bought everything and is licensed in the state that they're trying to collect in, and they have bought everything associated with the account, then they can come after you. So what happens is now the debt will now start reporting on your credit report from the collection agency. So now not only will you have the charge off from the original creditor because he got rid of the debt, now you'll then have the collection agency reporting because now they're trying to get the money from you. So now the question is, well, what do I do? So what I tell all my clients is what you need to do is you need to make them prove that this is your debt. You don't get scared and intimidated because you see that the collection agency is calling you or because they are writing you or coming after you. What you need to do is you need to send them a letter of validation. And a letter of validation, debt validation, is basically asking the debt collector, prove that this is my debt. You may know that this is your debt, but you know what? I want you to prove that this is my debt. I want you to prove that the amount that's owed, there's no interest fees, there's no extra amounts, court fees, everything else that's placed on top of this debt that you're trying to make me pay. So you want to send them a letter of debt validation. The collection agency has 30 days to respond to that letter. So you usually want to send the debt collector a certified mail, certified return mail, or at least certified mail through the postal system. So that way, when you send it, you can begin to track it. So let's say you send it, what's today, the 13th, the 14th. Let's say you send it on the 14th, then you know that by May 14th, they need to be responding back to you with some type of answer. A lot of times a collection agency will not respond back. They usually feel they don't need to respond back, or they may feel like it's not important to respond back, or they may not simply have all the rights to the debt, so they don't respond. In which case, if they don't, then they have violated what we call the FDCPA law, and that's a law that is definitely channeled towards debt collectors and that they must obey. So if they're not getting back to you within the 30 days, then you need to alert the bureaus that you have contacted the debt collector. You show us the certified mail receipt, proof of that, proof that you sent it 30 days ago and that they never answered. And in return, the credit bureau should be removing that debt because the collector did not respond in enough time. If they should respond to you, what you need to be looking for is not just a simple receipt showing that you owe $893. That's simple. Anybody could make that up. What they need to be showing you is payment history. They need to be showing you a contractual agreement between you and the creditor, or you and you and them, that states that you owe this debt. They have to show something substantial when they respond back. Again, if they don't, then that's when you need to go ahead and contact the bureaus and let them know, listen, the debt collector has not gotten back to me, or they've gotten back to me, but they have not provided all the proof that states that I owe this debt. Always, always, always. And also, you never want to just right away do a payment plan. You never want to give a debt collector access to your bank accounts. If you do decide to settle with a debt collector, if it is proven that you do indeed owe them, then what you need to do is you need to try to settle. When you try to settle with them, you need to try to ask for a pay for delete. So what you want to go ahead and do is, let's say it's found that you do owe the debt. They send you all the proper paperwork validating the debt, and you decide that you want to pay them. Let's say you owe them $1,000. All you got is about $400 or $500 to pay them. Then you want to call them up. You want to, or in writing. Most times I say do everything in writing, correspondence. You want to write them. You want to ask them, will they be willing to settle for the $500? If they decide that they are, then you get them to do that settlement in writing and offer to pay for delete that particular item off of your credit report in exchange for the money. So you want to do everything in writing with a debt collector. If they ask you, oh, well, give us access to your bank account or your credit card or your debit card, you want to say no. If you want to settle with them and you have a prepaid card, you can do that. You could do a money order, something like that, but you never want to give them a payment out of your checkings account or savings account. Another thing is, before just doing a payment plan to get them off your back, again, you want them to validate the debt, because if you don't and you do a payment plan, you actually do what is called re-aging the debt. So once you give them that first payment, let's say you owe them $1,000, but you don't have $1,000 to give them, and they say, hey, well, we'll do a payment plan of $200 every month, and you start giving them $200 every month. You're now actually re-aging the debt without actually knowing whether or not you owe them the debt or they have everything on it. So collections is very tricky. Debt collectors and debt buyers, it's a grimy world. They will call you, they will threaten to sue you. It's against the law for them to threaten to sue you if they know that's not their intentions. However, you will have some debt collectors that will get in touch with you and will have you, they will send you papers letting you know that they have an intention on suing you. Again, don't become intimidated. What you need to do is you need to respond. If they send you court papers, you need to respond. But how they send it to you matters. So they need to send you your court papers if they're going to sue you through a summons. They should not be sending it in the mail. They should not just be sending it however. They need to be sending it to you by having you served, whether that's at your job, whether it's at your home. They have to have you served. If they have to have you served, telling you to appear in court about this debt, you need to go. Do not just say, no, well, I'm not going to go because I don't feel I owe them. You need to put something in place and you need to go, because if not, they obtain a default judgment on you, and then that will go on your credit report. You need to go in, show face, and fight the fact that you owe that debt. Or you want to ask them again, are you licensed? Do I have a contractual agreement with you? How much do I owe? Show me the proof that I owe. You want to know all those things even when in court. But simply not showing up for being served or sued in court, you will in fact obtain a default judgment against you, and that will go on your credit report, and then that will drop your score. So these are just some of the pointers. In the coming days, in the coming weeks, I'm going to be touching a lot through video on debt collectors, how to deal with them, because this seems like this is a big ongoing thing. A lot of people have a lot of collections on their credit reports, and it really is a situation, and you need to equip yourself with how to deal with them. So this is Elise Woods signing off, and until next time, I'll be talking to you.